Supreme Commander Vexlar of the Tauron Imperium watched with satisfaction as his battle fleet approached the unaligned world. His 27 warships represented the mightiest assemblage of firepower in this sector of the galaxy. The primitive species that had recently achieved faster-than-light travel would soon understand their place in the cosmic hierarchy. Sensors detecting a single vessel departing the third planet reported his tactical officer. It appears to be on an intercept course. Vexlar's facial ridges rippled with amusement. A welcoming committee? Or perhaps they send a sacrifice to appease us. The main view screen shifted to display the approaching ship. It was an ungainly thing by Tauron standards, a dark grey rectangular mass, bristling with what appeared to be weapon ports and sensor arrays. No aesthetic considerations, no elegant curves or harmonious proportions. Typical of a young species. Open communications, Vexlar ordered. Let us inform these humans of their new status as subjects of the Imperium. Before his communications officer could comply, the human vessel transmitted first. A flat, two-dimensional image appeared on the view screen, showing a hairless humanoid wearing a dark uniform adorned with symbols presumably denoting rank. This is Captain Eleanor Chen of the United Earth Alliance battleship Resolute, the human said, her voice translated by the ship's systems. You have entered restricted space without authorization. State your intentions immediately. Vexlar's amusement turned to indignation. No newly spacefaring race had ever addressed the Imperium with such presumption. I am Supreme Commander Vexlar of the Tauron Imperium, he replied. Your species will now recognize our authority. Deactivate your propulsion and weapon systems. Prepare to receive our delegation. Resistance will result in your vessel's destruction. The human captain's expression didn't change. Negative. Your fleet will power down weapons and leave this system immediately. This is your only warning. Laughter erupted across the Tauron command bridge. A single ship challenging 27? The humans were either insane or completely ignorant of interstellar realities. Tactical analysis of the human vessel? Vexlar asked, still chuckling. His tactical officer hesitated. Initial scans suggest unusual energy signatures, Commander. We cannot determine their weapon capabilities with certainty. Irrelevant, Vexlar dismissed. Deploy the forward battle group. 3 ships should be sufficient to demonstrate our superiority. 3 Tauron destroyers broke formation, accelerating toward the human battleship. They opened fire simultaneously, energy beams converging on the Resolute. What happened next would forever change the Tauron understanding of warfare. The human ship's hull seemed to ripple as the energy beams struck. Rather than absorbing or deflecting the attack, the Resolute appeared to channel it, the energy flowing across its surface like liquid before dissipating harmlessly. Impossible, gasped the tactical officer. They've somehow converted our weapons energy into. The human ship responded. No visible beam, no missile launch, just a momentary distortion in space around one of the Tauron destroyers. The destroyer simply came apart, disintegrating into fragments, as though its atomic bonds had been selectively dissolved. Before the Tauron fleet could react, the Resolute fired again. The second destroyer's shield flared briefly, then failed. The vessel didn't explode, it imploded, crushed by forces the Taurons couldn't comprehend. The third destroyer turned to retreat. Too late. The human weapon caught it midway through its evasive maneuver. This time, the Taurons watched in horror as their ship seemed to fold in on itself, collapsing into a singularity that winked out of existence a moment later. 3 destroyers. 6 seconds. Gone. All ships, open fire, Vexlar ordered, his voice cracking. Maximum power. The remaining 24 Tauron warships unleashed their full arsenal. The space between the fleets, filled with energy beams, plasma torpedoes and graviton pulses, enough firepower to reduce a small moon to rubble. The Resolute accelerated directly into the barrage. Its hull flickered with strange energies as it absorbed, deflected, or simply ignored the Tauron attacks. It moved with impossible precision, somehow anticipating the trajectories of incoming fire. Captain Chen's face reappeared on the viewscreen. This demonstration is over. The following are your options: immediate withdrawal from Earth space or total fleet destruction. You have 30 seconds to decide. Vexlar stared at the viewscreen, then at the tactical display, showing the remains of his 3 destroyers. His mind raced through scenarios, strategies, possibilities, and found none that ended with Terran victory. "All vessels cease fire," he ordered quietly. "Set course for the jump point. Retreat." As the Tauron fleet turned away, Vexlar's science officer approached his command chair. "How?" he whispered. "They're barely a century into their interstellar phase. How could they develop such technology?" Vexlar had no answer. But he understood now what the Imperium had failed to grasp. This species hadn't spent its pre-FTL era in peaceful contemplation, like the Taurans, or in philosophical advancement like the Centauri. The humans had spent their history fighting each other, their environment, their limitations. They had mastered war long before they reached the stars, and the galaxy would never be the same.